the second episode of Cyberathletics in 1 week after 2 or 3 months off. You can thank us all in the comments, get us that engagement, hit the algo. As you can tell, Billy's not in his usual setup, if you want to explain a bit.
Yeah, I'm in Berlin, so I was going to say probably get that out of the way now. The reason the video quality and probably audio quality is a bit shit is because, you're not allowed to swear in the first 15 seconds, is a bit rubbish. You can cut that a little bit if you want. Is because I'm in Berlin. I'm in a hotel in Berlin, just digital nomad.
And you're there for the tryouts for the Olympic Esports Series in Tic Tac
Bow. This is where they're hosting Tic Tac Bow tryouts. Yeah, man. Heavy,
so you've been scrimming LAN setting with all the other nerds in the hotel setting while everyone's sat on the bog just connected to the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it's a madness. It's been competitive, I'll say that. A lot of interested esports folk.
Yeah. A lot of touch and go situations, a lot of touching cloth situations. Like,
yeah.
Competing on the bog, it's a tricky one.
Do you want to tell your Tic Tac boast? Oh no, it's not that, is it? You were playing Tennis
Clash. As we'll get into, it's part of the upcoming esports shite by the Olympics, and basically that is a game I used to play while I was on the bog. And I discovered like you have to pay if you want to like get to the upper echelons of the rankings and stuff. So
I hope you didn't spend longer than 10 minutes at a time on the shitter, because it's bad for your arsehole and your balls.
Who, like Huberman?
No. So this is actually Mikhail Klementov at Washington Post. He wrote this. He basically
about Marvel Snap.
Yeah. But then it was like about like the damage it can cause if you're on the toilet for too long playing games and stuff, like just because of. And this was one thing that really stuck out to me about the piece. This is such a diversion. But just the gravity, the nature of a toilet bowl, the gravity kind of pulls your asshole down a little bit lower than everything else. So if you're on for too long, it can really damage your health, apparently, like damage your bowels, damage your digestion. So heads up, anybody that
I've got a choose your own adventure thing here, Billy. Do I give too much information or do we move on to Olympics?
Let's move on to Olympics.
Okay, because I my stomach has been in ruins for the past 24 hours, and
Damn.
But that's all. I have really graphic detail I could give, but I will save that for the post-pod.
You know what? This is really bad. I shouldn't do this either, but this is a Huberman thing. I've been taking these supplements for it's like testosterone, but then it's not like TRT, but it's like a testosterone boosting like stack. And I trust Andrew Huberman, so I don't think it's bullshit. But it does kind of fuck with your digestion. If you have it, especially if you don't have it with food, it really like.
Do you know manly men have aggressive shits? That's how it is. The manliest men have the hardest shits.
Well, maybe that's what it is. The testosterone just like
It's the act of pushing out a tough poo that actually gets your testosterone up, like you're winning the battle. It's a positive feedback loop.
That's what they say, yeah.
That's what Huberman says verbatim, I think. So anyway, it's been an absolutely rogue one. I still think we need to do a non-esports podcast. Like it'd be fun to be able to just follow those tangents.
Oh man, we're gonna have to timestamp this one because we're 3.5 minutes in, and
we'll just call it poo and testosterone. So the Olympics is now. So they've been flirting with esports for a little bit, in a sense. In a very loose sense, the Olympic virtual series, and tied it into IEM Katowice before, I think, but like other games, not CSGO. I believe like they've done bits and bobs, but like this is the first year with the Olympic Esports Series that they're calling it esports, and it's also a year where they've picked stuff that is nowhere near related to what we all know and think of when it comes to esports. So I don't know if it's worth like running through the titles first, just to give some context. So. Because most people should know about it by now, but I can quickly run through and say there's archery, baseball, chess, cycling, dance, motorsport, sailing, taekwondo, and tennis. 3 of them, I think, are mobile titles. One of them's just fucking dance. Another one's a Japanese game called e-baseball. And, of course, the standout is virtual regatta. That sounds the most exciting by far. Who does not want to see a mobile sailing game? That is the epitome of both esports and Olympic excellence.
It's
an absolute omni shambles. The thing is, it's been beautiful because on Twitter, it's been a universal negative reaction. On LinkedIn, it's been a universal, oh, why don't we give it a chance? Because LinkedIn folks don't actually understand what esports is or the reality of esports, whereas the Twitter folks somewhat do. Like, it's Grifter Central on LinkedIn, obviously. So, like, there were some comments on my LinkedIn about the Olympics where I just shared some thoughts, and one guy was just reeling off absolute bollocks. He called himself like the OG esports lecturer or something, where he like wrote part of the BTEC. He wrote a really long response. I just replied "lol," and then that triggered the fuck out of him, and he was like, "Oh, great response! Or what I think is," blah, blah, blah. And I just didn't read it. I was just like, "Yeah, that's gonna absolutely ruin his Thursday or Friday or whatever," and I'm just gonna live my life.
I wish you would have told me that before we started this. I would have loved to have seen that, man. Fucking hell.
Well, it's still there. You can go and have a look.
I'll have a look.
The definition of
don't
triggered,
right
and it's
now,
on LinkedIn as well. Like, my employer's going to see that and go, "Oh, Adam's based." And if they think anything other than Adam's based, I'll be fuming because it's absolute banter.
I've got to have a look. That's funny as well.
Yeah, but while you're looking at that, yes, I believe there are a couple more titles to be announced based on things I've heard. But like, I don't know if that means it's going to be like Dota or something. Obviously, they had like eFootball, which was Pro Evo Soccer for the Commonwealth Esports, and Rocket League. So it seems like it's a step backwards in terms of international sporting events, like adopting esports, taking on esports. Has actually been a backwards level of progression, which is a bit mad. But it's to be expected from a bunch of like Swiss boomers who have no idea what the fuck they're doing. Is a reason the Olympics is dying anyway, and it's not because of a lack of esports. Like, the last thing they need is like just nerds watching Dota. Like, no, you just like need to have like exciting sports instead of, I don't know, like watching people shoot things in the air. Like, that's just not fun unless you're American. But then they'd prefer you to be using human targets or something anyway, wouldn't they? So it's understandably and expectedly a shambles in my opinion. And we can get into this, but I don't understand the purpose of it.
Yeah, it's like not only is it not what esports fans would expect or want, it's also just like a smack in the face to call it esports. It's like laughable. Because you would think that the global fucking esports federation has some level of understanding of the industry and some grasp on the games people play, the reason people like it, and yet to bring out new games, totally new games, and have tryouts and like just the fact that the games are so embarrassing. Like, it is a mad decision. It's pretty shocking, and I think I commented this on your video, your separate video, but to me, it's like, it's obviously not trying to target a new esports audience. I think it's just trying to look forward thinking to old people and to existing Olympics fans and to fucking, like you said, just boomers in suits. Like, that's what this is about. If they really wanted to attract an esports audience and please an esports audience, you would, okay, you might not be able to use CSGO because fucking terrorists and blood and bombs, but you could definitely use Rocket League, you could use FIFA, you could use fucking... Is eFootball in the Olympics? I can't remember. It's not, is it? No. So they could even use fucking eFootball. And that would be bad. Like, I think, didn't they use eFootball was at the Commonwealth Games?
Commonwealth, yeah.
And that was a bit of a, like, no one really reacted well to that. But even still, that's at least a little bit better than this. Like, yeah, and I guess the skeptical take is, let me just make sure that I have all of the links right. So basically, the Global Esports Federation are kind of... So Refract is the name of the company that has just made, and this game was only released like 2 weeks ago. Tic Tac Bow, the archery game, was made by Refract. Refract's founder, whose name is Chonggeng, and I'm not sure how you pronounce NG. I really don't know how you even pronounce that, but Chonggeng NG is a board member of the Global Esports Federation. So it's weird. It's like there's definite favoritism there, and if anything, it's a little bit scandalous that the Olympic Committee would choose that game because a Global Esports Federation member made it, basically. Like, it's difficult to explain simply, but there's a lot of like favoritism, like nepotism type shit going on. And yeah, it's questionable to say the least.
I mean, I would say I understand why they wouldn't have a CS:GO or something, right? Because they hate violence, even though they'll show boxing and martial arts, which is
That's true.
actually violent as opposed
That's
to
true.
watching stuff on a screen. So they've already fucked their own argument there. But what I find somewhat surprising is so the Global Esports Federation is linked to the IOC. There are people in both, like they sleep together effectively. Like it just
Yeah.
is what it is. Even if like they don't like boast about partnerships, maybe they do. It's been a long while since I cared. But the Global Esports Federation is partnered with a bunch of sporting federations, so there's
Yeah.
no doubt that at least in like good contact with them often.
Yeah. Definitely.
The GEF, the Global Esports Federation, is backed and basically funded by Tencent. And Tencent 100% wholly owns League of Legends, which is also the biggest esport. Why the you can't even do nepotism properly. It should be
Yeah.
League of Legends up there by itself and say, this is the only esport, this is the biggest, best esport. We pick League of Legends because it's the only legit one. It's got the best skill gap and the best teams, and we can really do like a national level like tournament with it. You know what I mean? Like they could do that, surely. That there's inroads for that to happen, but for whatever reason, I don't know. It seems as if, well, it's evidently it's clear that they're trying to have sport-based games as their thing because they're still trying to promote sports, even with games. So they're dipping their toe in esports, apparently, seemingly. So they say, but not actually doing it like a good job there either. It's like they can't commit to it. They haven't fully committed to anything. Though the name change kind of suggests otherwise. But you only have to see like the announcement tweet that the Olympics made to understand how out of touch they are when they said like your E time has come or your time has E come or it won't be E come. That sounds very different.
It's painful,
And
that, isn't it?
that's definitely an OnlyFans terminology. But yeah, I think it's your E time has come. And it's just like that alone is just like, yeah, like you don't understand what this shit is. Like we don't just say like E hello everyone, good morning, E good morning. Well, you're an E twat when we're arguing. Like we don't just add E hyphen in front of everything. In fact, we don't like the hyphen. So like you can't you're literally just trying to jump in and go, hi, fellow young kids, when like you're 80 and you've shit your pants. Like you're so out of touch, it's unreal, and you're not even like you're not committing to shit. So it's just a weird one, and I think like okay, who's this appealing to? I don't imagine those games have got like rabid fan bases. Realistically, Tennis Class will have a lot of like poo players, as I will call them, where they play it to pass the time while they're on the bog. Just Dance is like, yeah, that will have a lot of players, but I don't know what the viewership there is for like a tournament. I know they have national championships and stuff, but come on now, like it's not talked about or even seen in the purview of an esport. So you know, like yeah, I forgot where I was going with my original point, but basically they're fucking
It's like
stupid.
me. It's like me, mate. I do that all
I
the
know.
fucking time.
I need a nap.
It's about time you do that, and it's
I
not
haven't
me.
had my lion's mane and my ashwagandha and stuff yet. So
yeah, it's. I wonder if the sole reason is that it's just they wanted to rev. For me, like I just can't get over the fact that they call it esports. That's what I don't get. It must just be. It's so, like you said, it's so out of touch. But there are people, like you said. I think Chris Overholt has been associated with the Global Esports Federation, and he's just left. He's the CEO of fucking Overactive Media, like a massive company. They should know their stuff when it comes to esports. They should know the industry. At the very least, they should have like a basic. But to call it esports, it's like it's latching onto a word people have heard, even though, like I said, you can't call it that because it doesn't do anything to kind of honor the community or the competition within esports, the esports industry. It's just, yeah, it's baffling. They should have called it the virtual sporting showcase or some shit. Like,
yeah, they had like
if
the
they're gonna do
Olympic
this,
virtual series before, and I'm like, that's fine, but
yeah,
just don't
like,
expect any of the esports folk to show up or have an interest. I feel.
yeah, they let. I just it baffles me that they cleared this. Like they ran it through, the commissions and the people that are associated with the global esports, and they all said, yeah, let's do this. Like it's fucking mind blowing. And I forgot to mention when I was explaining the links that like what was it? The International Olympic Committee and the Global Esports Federation, like they are in bed. They are very, very close. Like I said, I think the Global Esports is partnered with. Let me just read it actually because it's much easier. So Odessa is the governing body for games in South America, for like the games in South America, like the logo is the Olympic rings. They're also partnered with the European Olympic Committee, and they're partnered with Pan Am Sports, which represents the 41 national Olympic committees in the American continent. So they're very close to like the Olympic Games.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, it's absolutely mind blowing. Like I said, that Refract company just has it. They're just a bit too close to the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's odd. It's very odd.
I've managed to remember my point now. What I was trying to say
Go
is I
on.
don't know who they're appealing to because they're not appealing to esports fans, and also I don't understand why a fan of archery would want to watch a mobile game that includes elements of archery in it. Like, I don't understand what
Mm,
that's going to do. You'd maybe watch one thing to be like, oh, I like archery. Let's see if this is any good. And then it's just some sweaty nerd. I know people are trying to shed the image of esports players being sweaty, social, in like lacking social awareness and skills and stuff. But like, it's the case for a lot of them. Watch them try and do an interview. They fold like laundry, mate. So yes,
mm,
like some sweaty mobile gamer nerd, like, hey, we all play games here, I'm on too, whatever. Like, it's not going to appeal to them either. They're just going to see it, scoff, and go, okay, I'm going to wait for the real thing because this is nowhere near as good. Like, do I want
mm.
to watch a mobile game of sailing, or do I want to watch people actually putting in some effort and like doing something
Yeah,
impressive with
exactly.
it and beating other people?
Exactly.
Like, come on. So I don't. I think they're trying to get the best of both worlds and are actually like hitting none of them,
Yeah.
like on neither of them. It's how I feel. Now, obviously, viewership could be amazing, and they're going to find ways to be able to pump this up and say this is a great success.
Mm,
And some
yeah.
of the legit, actually illegit esports federations out there who will be supporting this will, of course, like spread the word and send reports out and PRs and stuff. And a couple of publications will cover it as if it was a success. Like, it's going to happen because the Olympics wants good press and they will have good people working on it. But yeah,
True say.
you can already tell it's going to be a shambles. And what's interesting as well is they've moved away from DreamHack, who were like hosting. It was like DreamHack Sport Games, the like subsid there that hosted the Olympic Virtual Series before. I remember.
Right.
So
Okay.
they moved away from that, and I don't know who's running it per se. Maybe it is DreamHack in the back still, but I don't think they're using any of the titles that DreamHack Sport Games or Sports Games or whatever actually works with,
Mm-hmm.
because they host like a bunch of the esports equivalent like FIFA leagues,
Mm.
football leagues and stuff. I don't think they deal with Tic Tac Bow and Just Dance, so I'm not sure who's
Yeah. That's.
silently working with them. If it's Esports Engine, I will shoot myself in the head, because they can do better than this shit. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Just like, I don't understand who this appeals to. So overall, I don't. And also, it's not even literally linked to the Olympics beyond branding. Like, what's
Mm-hmm.
this actually going to do?
Yeah.
Like, it's running this year. There's nothing Olympic going on this year, right?
Don't think so. No.
No, because it's every 4
No.
years. Like, and
It's
we're
every 4
in
years. Yeah.
23. So what the fuck's going on here? Like, I don't understand it, mate.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you said, it is a weird one. It's just they've gone against everything that you would say. If you were to list it, what makes esports special as an industry, what makes these titles like interesting, it's the fact usually that they are like fantastical and they're a bit different to what you would have in real life. Do you know what I mean? That's always
Mm-hmm.
to me the appeal. Like, yeah, FIFA, but also FIFA's not a fucking big esport for a reason. The
Yeah.
biggest ones have something a bit different. So to just like I said, for me, the biggest thing is just you calling it esports. Like, it's such a slap in the fucking face, and it feels
Mm-hmm.
out of touch as fuck as well.
I can't wait to see the huge skill gaps for these mobile games. By the way, it's going to
Yeah,
be
like
an
also
insanely
yeah,
close matches from bottom to top out of
a
the
lot.
three people that actually qualify and attempt to qualify.
Yeah, so also legitimizing pay to win games as competitive titles that you like people are
Madness.
going to tune in to watch. Like the whole point, what makes a good esport? It's like a high skill gap and fairness. It's like parity. You don't implement like a pay to win system. Whereas in at least I think Tennis Clash and Tic Tac Bow, I think they're the two. They are very pay to win, and so you're putting it up on this pedestal as look at this like fucking pinnacle of esports competition, and you would play it. And if you don't put money in, you can't get to a certain stage. It's baffling. It's stupid.
Yeah, at the
But
very
they've
least,
chosen those
they need to
games.
unlock everything in those
Yeah.
games and have it so everyone has access to everything. At the
Mm.
very least.
Yeah, yeah. I think they probably will do that, but even still, just putting it on a pedestal as like a, yeah. as like a true esport is just bollocks, isn't it? What?
It's funny. I just think back to like it was lovely to see the whole industry just like on the same page about something
Yeah, it's true.
because it's so rare.
Nice moment of unity.
It's only when someone tries to come in and they don't like them. You remember like Neom when in 2018 when they tried to come in, everyone unanimously was like "fuck off," and it's been the same with the Olympics. It's been wonderful to see. It's like this is what I think it would be. This is what would be needed for humanity to unite. It's like an alien invasion, and this is esports is alien invasion.
True say.
We've all come together to give it a collective fuck off.
Yeah.
But I can't wait to see all the ridiculous clips and stuff that come from it. I wonder if they get commentators and stuff there. Who's going to choose to do that? Like, there's going to be some fun to be had with all of this shit. So I will actually be paying attention, but obviously just for spiteful, purely unpure reasons.
It is a good point. There'll be some funny shit that comes out of this. Because how like you said, how much of a skill gap can a mobile game have? I don't know. It's mad, isn't it? We'll see. I mean, not that I mean mobile games. That I don't mean that as like the whole platform. I mean, some of them obviously do have a big skill gap, but this is like a fucking like a mobile game where you sit and have a shit and play it. Like, so yeah.
I can't wait to see Connect 4 at the next Olympics. Like, it's just that shit, isn't it? You know what I mean?
It's not far off. Yeah, you mentioned. What else were we going to talk about? You mentioned Esports Engine before. Can that be the transition?
Yes.
Or have you still got stuff to say on the first bit?
No,
we're
good.
Olympic stuff. Okay, well, it's up to you.
I just want to kick it off by saying, Mike Sepso, Sundance, I'm not angry or mad. I am just disappointed, as my mum told me every single day of me growing up. I'm just heavily disappointed. You have hurt my feelings. You have let down yourselves and the community for what you have done, in my opinion. But I think
so. Did you
only
respect
like
him?
3 of us have spoken out about this. Oh, everyone else is saying congrats. That's how I know it's worked. No one gives a fuck now because it's just like, oh, it's inevitable.
So did you respect them too, I presume?
Heavily. Like, they founded MLG, man. Like,
yeah,
they're the G's. Like, these are the OGs of esports. Like, these are sick cunts. Like, not in a good way. These are legends. Like, legitimate legends. Like, industry veterans in a true sense. Everything that people claim to be, these folks are them, but don't shout about it. You know what I mean? Like, and yeah, they've been quite with Vindex. Like, things were good during the pandemic when they were getting the 60 million funding and building all of these belong gaming arenas. And yeah, it's gone a bit quiet. And Esports Engine's just been the thing keeping shit moving, at least from like a public perspective. But what they've built is insane. Like, Sepso was heavily involved in building the Overwatch League, and look how much money that got out of fucking teams. From his perspective, working in Activision Blizzard, he absolutely fucking killed it. He pitched that model, created that model, got teams to buy in on it. Like, whether that league's been good for the industry or not. Like, my man's smart and make shit work and made a lot of money for Activision Blizzard when he was working there after they acquired MLG. While I don't respect that move per se because the league's been a shambles, like, he knows what he's doing. He's a smart fella and now a fart smeller, unfortunately, for a bit of wordage there. But yeah, so I heavily respected them before, as well as Adam Apicella, who's obviously leading Esports Engine. Jury's still out on whether he's involved or not. He's got some like emo-y tweets going on at the moment, and I think there's some family stuff going on. So I hope all's well there. But also, it seems to me as if he's kind of like has left Esports Engine, or he's at least in the middle of making a huge like moral and ethical decision on his behalf, like because he basically built it from the ground up, right? So he's got to abandon his baby for his morals and principles and start something again, or join somewhere else, I guess. But the options are dwindling, or he just has to accept it. And it doesn't seem to me, at least, that he's like perfectly fine just doing that. So yeah, heavily disappointing. And we've given no actual context here. Vindex, which is behind Belong Gaming Arenas and Esports Engine and like a data product, has been acquired by basically the Public Investment Fund, which owns Savvy Gaming Group, which owns ESL FACEIT Group and DreamHack. So
basically the Saudi Arabia state.
Yes. It is now a sister company to Newcastle United, which you never think could happen. But yes, so Esports Engine seems to do between like 5 and 10 events each week, white label, putting them on for the CDL across the board, across a lot of esports. Basically, anything non-Riot owned, it seems to be they will work on and put on a good show on wherever they can. I know there were like primary program developers for Halo when Halo Infinite came out, as well as like the production partner on that. And they've done lots of great work and scaled well, and I think established themselves in London with like Martin Wyatt from Gfinity and stuff as well. So they seem to be doing great, and now they're just rolled in under the same banner as ESL, DreamHack, FACEIT. Yeah, so I find it very sad news. But again, like you saw Richard talk about it, saying like esports as he knows it has disappeared type thing, because like OGs who built stuff back in the day have just sold out to Saudi, and that's basically all of them at this point, besides him and like Thorin. Everyone else is now Saudi owned and Saudi run and stuff, right? So apart from that, I tweeted, he tweeted, and that was basically all I saw against like this move, or at least showing that they were saddened against the move or by the move.
Yeah, what was
so
it you
I
mentioned?
think it's been normalized.
Yeah, it definitely has. It definitely has, and it's sad. We spoke about it ages ago, didn't we, when it first started kicking off on here? What was I going to say? Yeah, you mentioned something about Vindex in the last episode. So I think you said you think they're going to acquire somebody, or they're going to get acquired by somebody. Yeah, they're like in prime position to acquire. I can't fucking remember who it is now. Like a struggling company who we spoke about. Nerd Street Gamers,
local host stuff.
Yeah. So I mean, that could happen. That could happen.
I mean, they're looking for a buyer. Like that definitely could happen if they're looking for more event operators, and that's what Nerd Street kind of became, right? As well as having these facilities and stuff, they have the production capabilities and the space, and it seems like it'd be the cheapest option right now if they wanted to get in and get them.
Yeah, and that is the sad thing, isn't it? Because you just know like a company as strapped as that, as Nerd Street. Like if Saudi comes in now, if Vindex comes in now and says like, oh, be part of Savvy Games Group, whatever, they're almost certainly going to say,
and they can just get an exit, and they offer them twice what they're actually asking for, just to make sure the deal goes through. Like, what's like 50 mil, for example, I don't know, going to be to multi-billionaires, maybe trillionaires across the whole like royal family at the top. I don't know how much trickles down, but nobody knows how much is actually there, which is the scary part. But yeah, I think the main point for me is I don't want to go on a whole rant, and I've had a few people say like I've been unfair to the Saudi people. Like, I don't know the Saudi people, I'm not judging them. It's the people behind the regime, the people at the top of the state that enforce the fact that they even imagine and think of these rules and then enforce them. Like, they can have their own ideals and stuff, sure, but like, stay there well away from me, because I don't agree with half the shit you fuckers do. Like, that's just what it is. The people, I can't comment on you. I don't know yous. So, no, this is not attack on the Saudi people. It's the people it's the state, the people who run the state and the public investment fund, and the reasons for why they're doing what they're doing. Both in esports and both like on a humanitarian front. Obviously, what they're doing in life for their like with their people and stuff is much worse than just buying up some esports companies. Like, but the fact is, in 2018, through Neon, they got chased the fuck out of the industry, and now we're 4.5 years on, and nobody bats an eyelid when they literally buy like one of the biggest tournament operators, a company with a huge data product, which is behind the scenes nobody really speaks about, but like they've got data for days, and Belong Gaming Arenas, who are well across the UK, and obviously we're trying to establish ourselves well in the US, and they've got like a franchise system going again now. So it's nobody really cares anymore, and so it's been a very quick transition from, oh shit, we don't agree with those morals and those values, or lack of morals, those values that you have. We don't fuck with that stuff. Like, this is supposed to be an inclusive industry. We care about people equally, no matter what. Please stay away. And now it's just like, oh, what can be done? That's where the mindset shifted to. And I understand the difference between a sponsorship and ownership, in that you can retract a sponsorship. Ownership, when the ink's dried, everything's signed, and then it's announced a month later, 2 months later, or whatever, no amount of Twitter outrage is going to change shit. But you can at least show that you're not happy with them and boycott the products and the events and everything, right? But it seems to me as if people will still be watching the Warzone events to put on, the Halo events to put on, the COD events to put on, whatever else they choose to do. And there'll be no mention of it whatsoever. It's just that transition's happened so quick, and we said it would happen. They've came in and snapped shit up. A Savvy Gaming Group bought VSPN as well recently, like the big Chinese tournament operator, who were gonna. Yeah. Let me double check that. VSPN Savvy.
I know they're huge.
Yeah, 265 million they invested in them.
My God.
Yeah, they're like huge in China, and they invested in them like not long ago as well. So
yeah, so they're just gonna fucking own the whole space. I think a lot of people are probably just like disheartened by it, and like you said, it feels hopeless now almost because
you
it's
can't
just so
win,
much
so you
money.
might as well join them.
Yeah, but
Like
also I'm talking about the reaction as well. It probably just feels like, because I know when I saw this news, I was like, fucking hell. It annoys me and it's like upsetting, but it was almost just like fuck. Like you said, a lot of people did, but we called this. It was only going one way, wasn't it? It is only going one way. Like I said, you've seen it, the sports washing project from the Saudis and others, but the Saudis in more recent times, that's like front of mind with the golf tournament, live golf and Newcastle.
WWE rumors.
Yeah,
shit,
WWE, that could be absolutely massive if that goes through. And now they seem to just be controlling every like tendril of esports. I think a lot of people are just losing just not hope, losing the will to like speak out against it because it's just so inevitable. It feels like, and it's a shame.
That's why it's good that esports is failing right now and absolutely crashing and burning. Let's keep this going. Let's just absolutely torch the industry, and then the Saudis can't own it and have another vehicle for their bullshit.
It would just be a lot of wasted money. That could be good. Yeah, no, it's
yeah.
a shit
So
situation.
they've got VSPN in China. They've got ESL. They've got DreamHack. They've got the FACEIT platform. They've got Esports Engine. They've got Belong Gaming Arenas, which I believe actually might be spun out into its own company. But until that's actually happened, I'm going to say it's under their control. Until there's an official announcement that it's now its own thing and who's going to run it and all that shit. And a huge data product, which is probably used to supply betting companies and stuff, to be honest with you, and who knows what else. Newzoo has announced that it's like basically abandoning esports, so maybe now
Seeing that.
Savvy, basically through Vindex's data product, can be the new Newzoo and spout absolute bullshit and then inflate the industry that they own themselves and just have their own propaganda machine.
Did you just predict the future? I think you did.
Again, yes. Unfortunately, I've got a knack for it at the moment when it comes to esports. But this just reinforces that I made the right decision at the right time, got the fuck out of here. I'm much happier for it. And I've been a bit more active in esports for the past few days, so people think I'm somehow back. For some reason, I'm not. I'm still very much out of it. I'm just talking about it and moaning about it. And yeah, I was very disheartened seeing the news, basically. I have no real snappy analysis of it or a big put down of it. I just feel like it was almost inevitable, but it's genuinely sad to see people just sell out, and that's exactly what this is. There's no one could paint it any other way to me that would make any sense other than like they got offered a lot of money. They were probably running out of dosh at this point. They had big plans. They partnered with IMAX and stuff. I don't think they ever fucking did it with IMAX. Vindex did, but like shit didn't materialize, and now they've sold out.
It's probably when they get that big offer, it probably because, and this isn't me justifying it, it's me kind of criticizing it, but when you get that big offer, it's probably like you start to justify it to yourself. And you're
easy.
Oh wait, isn't sports washing? That's kind of fuck that. That sounds like a bullshit idea.
But these say they don't care about politics. They only care about putting on good esports events.
Yeah, exactly. They hear it all and they start to get all fucking rosy-eyed and
the way they are with Saudi investors. That's how I am with like fast food. I like justify it to myself, and they're just doing it on a bigger scale. But like to be fair,
caffeine.
Yeah, exactly. An interesting like thought is someone rocks up to your house and knocks on the door. They have a briefcase with 100 million, and they say, "Hey, mate, accept this and just never speak on the Saudis again." 100 mil. Like, could you turn that down? That's what I mean, because basically you're basically like putting a price on your morals and stuff or what you believe in, because we've made it very clear what we believe in. So if they come to my door and offer me 100 mil, and that's like generational wealth, like that would be very hard to turn down. Very fucking hard to turn down.
It would. It would.
You almost have to just like eat shit just to look after your babies, future babies, future babies. Like, you know what I mean? So I can understand quite easily how people will sell out, but it still upsets me that it does happen.
Yeah. No,
Especially
exactly.
like the people who've proven that they can create successful businesses like
Mhm.
Sepso and Sundance and potentially, hopefully not Apicella as well. You know?
Yeah. I'll be interested because obviously Apicella's changed his Twitter bio, right? So I'll be interested to see what happens. Like if he, I would quite like to see a rogue person come step away from that and be like, nah, fuck you. There's no
And if
chance.
anyone could build that, it's him.
Yeah, definitely.
He did it with his
Actual
Spots engine,
OG.
like built it from scratch, and look what they've done. They took over the industry until they literally got took over themselves.
Yeah.
It could happen again, I think, but you're relying on people to get away from cushy salaries and stuff, right?
Mhm.
And a lot of people just don't care like that. And a lot of people as well rationalize it like, well, they own part of Facebook, so therefore, like the Saudis own part of Facebook. So if you use WhatsApp, if you use Instagram, then you're also uh, basically doing the same shit you're using a product or having an experience that's funded by the Saudis. And everyone has to draw their own line, obviously, as to what they use, what they don't use, what they consume, what they're not willing to, what they feel comfortable with, what they don't. You know, so some people will just be like, "Oh well, they've already taken over anyway. There's nothing I can fucking do about it. Give me that Skrilla." Like it could just be that simple, and I can understand that point of view.
Yeah.
I'd say it won't be me, but again, if someone knocks on my door with 100 mil, I might just delete that video we've got called the Saudi Arabia problem in esports. I'd hope not, but if it's 100 mil in cash, I don't know if I've seen 10k in cash, never mind 100 mil. Like, it's a different gravy. It's tough, man. So maybe I'm a giant hypocrite. Thankfully, no one will ever come to my door with 100 mil and say never speak about Saudi again. So I
Yeah,
cannot
we'll
be a
never
hypocrite
know. So we'll never
and
know. So we can
criticize.
keep criticizing.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. Unless, if you want my address, DM me. Prince. Well, I don't know. There's a lot of princes out there, you know. But like,
That's
for
another
example,
thing,
they just
actually.
hosted like the Jake Paul Tommy Fury fight, and bare people watch that. And we're tweeting about that. It's trending for absolutely ages as well. You know what I mean? It's just like they're everywhere. Like it is hard to actually not watch something that, like
Yeah.
sporting wise, that involves like Saudi at some point. If you want to watch F1, they've got the Grand Prix and they invested 550 million in McLaren. Like they've got the
Even,
hooks in everything.
I guess, just to put it into context for people might forget, like even doing what you and me are doing right now, you and I are doing right now, speaking as journalists on this, gets you killed in Saudi Arabia. Literally gets you killed. Or can get you killed. Not that every
Yes,
single
can do.
journalist
Yeah.
dies, but one is too fucking many. So yeah, like that puts into context, doesn't it? That's the cultural difference, and that's why people have a problem with sports washing. Is even something as simple as cyberathletics, me and Adam just chatting now, can get you killed, and that's
I
the
don't want to
gravity
die
of
for
it.
esports.
No, neither
It's
do
not
I.
fucking
Fucking no
worth it.
player. Yeah, I don't actually. The not Kipchoge, the marathon runner. You know the journalist
That
that
was
got
funny.
killed.
Oh, Khashoggi. Yeah.
Khashoggi, yeah. I can't remember what that person actually covered. Let's have a look. Wait.
Kipchoge. Oh,
I need to have a look.
Kipchoge broke fucking 2 hours, man, for the
A
marathon.
Saudi dissident, so
Okay.
presumably just reported on the Saudi state.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh damn.
And
Yeah.
there was someone who was like tweeting about Saudi and I think got yanked off Twitter and stuff.
All
And
right.
I don't know what happened there. I never followed it up actually. It's only just come to mind now. But like, there's bits there, and I think also like the Saudis are the second largest shareholders in Twitter with like
Really?
15%. I think
Oh,
so.
well, I
Yeah,
didn't know
like they
that.
carried their shares over when Elon bought it out, I believe.
Right.
So some people would say we're hypocrites for tweeting. I see it differently to consuming esports products and stuff. But as I say, people have to draw their own lines. But
Yeah. Well, it's
it's a trick one. And that's
definitely.
the thing with the so ingrained. It basically is what I'm saying. Like,
Mm,
if you wanted to live a life with no interference from, I guess, that
well,
fund and
yeah.
stuff, it would be very, very difficult.
But like using Twitter is one thing. Like I guess we're talking about receiving funds directly from the
Yes.
state to take over your company. That's the difference. That's the moral difference. Like using Twitter, yeah, okay, they own a stake. Fucking yeah, that feels like a splitting hairs point. But yeah. So it's a shame. I know you like those guys, so it's a shame. I don't not like them. I just don't know them as well as you do.
Yeah. Well, I remember like I did a podcast with Sundance, and I said like, this is when I was working at Esports Insider, and I said you'll never open a Belong arena in Scunthorpe, and then when they opened one in Scunthorpe and like had me like in the announcement tweet and stuff saying blah blah blah, you were wrong, Adam, or whatever, and I was like, oh, that's just a nice little touch, like half the people won't understand what the fuck's going on, but like just these people know what's what. I am obviously Mr. Esports in Scunthorpe. I
one
was
of
Mr.
one,
Esports. Yeah,
one of about
two.
two fans. Oh really?
Yeah, because there's a Halo Pro called Respectful.
Okay.
He was part of Ascend and did pretty well. I think
I'm
he
sorry
just
to you
competed in
too.
Charlotte, but they go Brandon Stones. Shout out to you, and also Adam Burkett, who's part of like Paper Crowns and Control, I think.
Right. Okay.
So like works with Skylar Johnson. He's also Scunny as well. So it's three of us. Two of them are called Adam, but I'm number one.
Down.
That's all we're saying. I'm
know
actually out of it
anyone.
now, so.
I don't think anyone's from Bury
Very.
in esports that I can think of.
I don't know. You'd have to put a tweet out, mate. But yeah, you probably
Scraps
won't
and
get much engagement.
Wolfskin are from Manchester, so I guess
It'll
that's
be
kind of. They'll be Manchester
shitloads of
anyway.
people from money.
Get over Manchester. I'm not talking about that shit.
But anyway, have we got anything else? Have you got anything on the docket that you'd like to discuss, or do we wrap up and have a bit of a shorter one than the last episode?
Yeah, I'll definitely be short on the last episode. I'm good, bro. I think we've basically touched on everything.
That's fine. And what are your plans for the near future, like traveling wise, esports wise, and stuff? What are you doing?
Oh, esports wise, I'm writing. So I'm like I said, I'm digital nomading, so I'm in Berlin now. Gonna be in Berlin for the next what day is it today? Friday. So for the next week and a bit, and then I'm going to Paris on the bus, which I'm kind of dreading, on like a Flix bus. So God knows what that's going to be like. Then I'm in Paris for a few days and then flying home. On the esports front, I'm just writing. I've got 3 articles coming out for Digiday.
Okay,
quite
still
a lot going on
there.
Yeah, articles for other people. I'm assistant editor at Esports Insider, doing a bit less for them now, but yeah, still doing that. And just cracking on, just doing a bit of this and a bit of that. What about you? How's your job going?
Well, this is my last day of annual leave. Obviously, it's the weekend, but so I've been off for a week, so expect no Cyberathletics episodes again. While I go back to work. No, we'll try and fit it in. But no, works very good. Very happy in my job, and very happy to be away from having to use Twitter daily and stressing about shit that annoys me. Getting challenged adequately. I just had my 3-month review, I will say, which is ridiculously quick, and they love me. They can't get enough. I was going to do like a Trump impression or something, but you know what I mean? And obviously, being the most humble person in the world, I think they've made a great choice hiring me. So I'm going to be in London a couple of times in March. I might try and meet up with Nathan Edmonds and the like if there's people in there. Depends on the free time. But yeah, things are good. Nice and recharged.
Lit,
and happy to
hear it.
Happy to be doing this again. This is actually my 4th video in the past week. If you count a shorts that I did on my personal channel.
Nice.
I did a YouTube short.
Lit. That's
and
lit.
A 5-minute YouTube video.
Yeah, I saw that one. Didn't see the short.
I am rich. Few hundred views on that short, you know.
Oh yeah.
Gone viral. Esports viral. But anyway, yeah, it's been fun, and hopefully we can be somewhat more consistent with this.
Yeah, we'll try.
Now we've got the ball rolling again. Because I know the 2 people that love us really love us, so it'd be awful to let down them. So
yes, we'll keep it consistent.
Lovely jubbly as always. Thank you all for watching. Oh, little slip of the tongue there. And we'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.